Hello and welcome back to the reception table. I am so glad you could make it here on this fine afternoon. We are here to play some Dungeons and Dragons, and I would like to introduce you to my good friends and players. If you don't mind, introduce yourself.
Hi, ich bin James und Aria. Ich bin sehr klug und sehr groß. That is to say hello, and whatever.
Right.
Off to you,
I'm
Chris.
Grace. No, I'm Grace.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Sound like a real human being.
Yes.
You're saying that
Yes.
don't offend our overseas friends. Wow. About to start an international incident, Grayson.
Oh, slip of the tongue there. A Freudian slip on who you thought would say that.
That is nothing you can read into, all right? Anyways, I think we have a show to do.
Oh, do we?
No, I think you guys are running a perfectly fine show on your own there. But you may
I know,
notice...
there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect. Like, you know, a little bit of a disconnect. I'm feeling like there may be
You're
a
saying...
little
Really not
something.
yes-anding here, are we?
You're saying that essentially we're messing up
problem
the
with,
reception?
Maybe.
Yes, hello, welcome back to the reception table. We're gonna run this a second time. No, you may notice that we're missing a few players. One of them is on the way, and unfortunately, the other is not going to be able to make it tonight. So we will be seeing Kalakath, Zatira, and Aria on this fine afternoon. But before we get into the recap, are there any notifications? Any kind of anything going on there, Aria?
I made 6 thumbnails today. I hope they get approved by my boss. He's a real stickler, but I hope he enjoys them.
We'll have to see.
All that hard labor you put into them.
All that hard labor for one to capitalize on. No. Well, got some new thumbnails coming out. We got more podcasts on the way in good running. We have a second DM podcast coming out this week. So look forward to that. And without further ado, we'll get ourselves into the recap. And you may notice we might be adjusting some things as we run this session today. We have some physical difficulties, but we will be fixing it as we rock and roll. All right.
What do you think that means, Grayson?
There we are.
I think he's saying he's living an uncomfortable life, as in there's a lot of things crammed in his room.
You know, I've been on that set. Well, we can't say it's a room. I've been to the office set, right? And
More like a
is
closet.
very. It's more like a closet. It's really tight. I'm a bigger guy, right?
Right.
And if my butt wasn't knocking off the wall, it was like my tits on the desk, you know.
Yeah.
You had to get that job somehow, didn't you, James? Didn't you, Aria?
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening this episode, but it seems like we're flaming the DM, which is a real interesting thing as we're approaching. Why? As we saw the last episode, Y had obtained the silver vine and seemingly had made off with it. Kalakath, choosing to confront Y through Nadine, the seeming priest or proxy or individual who has some kind of connection to this being, he had confronted them, and in that discussion they found that Y came to him and told them that he had taken the vine and that he should go through the sewers so that he may offer him a reward. Kalakath, in an emotional outburst, left our session with a bang, destroying the entirety of the orphanage. We're going to pull ourselves firstly, though, towards Zatira. Zatira, the night was long for you, almost as long as the day before. Though you do get good sleep, you're calmly awoken with a violent thunderstorm crackling over the building, over the mansion. And you were filled with these dreams of a flood, dreams of the crackling lightning finding its way into your own mind, A few times you wake, and you almost could have sworn for a second your entire room was illuminated green, as though a light just kind of blew through the window and dissipated as soon as it arrived. And after a restless night, the morning does come, and you find yourself waking up, the storm having passed, in Sawyer's mansion.
It's still storming outside.
The storm had cleared through the night, and at some point you finally did find your rest. And a little bit of light peers through the windows, but not too much, as they're all stained to various degrees. You can tell it's morning, though without opening the window, it is not a proper sunlight coming through your room, kind of tinted.
Okay. Well, Satira will do a little stretch. Get herself dressed and gonna return to her little tradition of testing her skills on the lockbox.
As you pull this lockbox out from where you placed it underneath your bed, it's the same finely crafted wooden box over the top of it with leathers that kind of stitch their way into it. And that lock that sits heavy in the front, keeping it closed. Its keyhole ever shifting and ever changing, a mechanical intricacy device. Would you like to describe it?
It's a little lockbox, probably like a little view. One may mistake it as like a little music box at first. A little dark wooden frame, as well as a little brighter wood sort of swirly pattern moving over a deeper blue painted body. Only like maybe 4 or 5 inches tall. And a generic looking open keyhole on the front.
It's a very quaint device, and it sits there as the morning sun peers its way through the windows.
See if I've kept up my skills, and I will try and use my thieves' tools on it and
All right.
test it
Go
out
ahead.
a few times.
Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check.
But first, oof, natural 1.
Oof.
Yikes! I really needed this.
As you haven't been around your box for some time, you place your lockpicks into the lock, and it's set to a tone that you weren't quite prepared for. As you find yourselves immediately, the first breaker clicks up and falls down, almost as though the spring itself felt loose. You've been tricked by a false spring. Had it been a trap, it would have had you.
See, this is why I need you, Jones. He pats the top of the box. Can't be falling short. And I'll give it a second shot.
Go ahead and give it a roll.
Much better. A total of 22.
This time, with your tweezers that are that go in and face upwards, you feel the looseness of the first breaker, and it kind of wiggles a little bit. So you know to move a little bit farther. Pressing it, it also wiggles. And a little bit farther before you click, you find that piece of the key, and you work your way through it slowly, and the knob twists. The lock opens before quickly shutting itself, and you see a dial move from 1 to 2 out of 4.
All right. Good to warm up. I will do it once again.
All right. You can hear the insides of the mechanical lock twisting and clicking as though it's changing its form and shape, ready for you to try to lockpick a second time, as this is your practicing tool.
My next roll was a modified 20.
Ooh. This time with ease as well. getting a bit more of a hang of things and a little bit more of a flow, there's a click, click, click. The lock undoes itself, awaiting you to close it yet again.
I will reclose it.
All right. You close it, and that dial moving from 2 moves to 3, and you can hear the insides shift and like move around inside. It almost sounds like a piece of small piece of metal filaments sliding over one another. It resets itself to a new combination.
Right. Now it's about to get challenging. And I will go once more. Oof. Total of 9.
Work your way through the lock, meticulously and quietly. There's a small shift in the air that distracts you for a moment, almost like you had heard something, and when you turn yourself back, the lock click snaps, your pick falls out of it, and you see the numbers move from reaching out its way to 3 to 2 to 1 to set back to its original form. As you have a broken lock pick, you flick it away. You have plenty more, and you unfortunately did not make it past your 3rd level of difficulty for this lockbox.
Oh, drat. Well, so is tomorrow. And Zatira will go back to that book she was looking at last night, and carry it under her arm and say, "Oh, well, hopefully no one notices that you're missing." And let's just go back to the library and pretend we never left.
You
And Zatira will head to the library.
Slinking your way through the building. No one pays much mind to you. You do see a few people passing, some unfamiliar faces. One person kind of tall, broad shoulders, seemingly coming from something not quite human descent, nor Goliath or anything of the sort, but just an odd figure for sure as he steps past you. A few other non-particular individuals, all wearing garb that indicates that they're more of servants or more of housemaids or other features. And you make your way towards the library, where the door, unlocked as before, clicks open, and you see that none of the lights in there have quite been turned on yet. Seemingly no one's made it to the library this morning.
Interesting. Well, Zatira will sit down at the nearest desk if it has like a candle next to it that she could use as light, or any other light sources that she could potentially light herself around.
Walking in, there are plenty of candles to light. And you sit down.
I'll light those up and just give myself more lighting to try and make a bit more progress, like researching in this book on deities of as above.
All right.
She didn't make much progress last night, but maybe this time, now she's been more awake.
What exactly are you looking for while you're looking through this book?
Trying to find more information on, like, if she can... She has reason to believe that Y is not actually a god or a deity, as he claims to be, but is trying to see if she can find at least a close second, as well as trying her best to find something on Bahamut.
Okay.
She couldn't find him last time. She knows he's in there.
If you don't mind, roll me an intelligence check, and then tell me, for the Y check, tell me what are some descriptors. Give me like 3 descripting words you would give for Y, or a quick description of what you would give when you're looking for Y.
Okay, the intelligence check is 11.
And
the descriptors are mind control, golden masks, a claimed god of man before, but she's not really holding much credence to that.
Okay.
Another thing. I think like before, spies and information gathering of knowledge.
Looking through there, specifically for those features in 11, you spend about 30 to 40 minutes and primarily shifting through each of the domains, looking at the titles, looking at the names, reading the quick descriptions, as you don't want to spend too much time, at least like for the quick skim at the start. And unfortunately, you don't find much that matches, especially you don't find anything matching of mind control. You find gods of heroism. You find gods of nature and growth. You find gods of prosperity and gods of frugality, gods of trying to reduce the pain in the world, but you don't find any gods of mind control or servitude in there. And you do recognize that this is a collection of the known gods,
Right.
and could be missing some other pantheons that other cultures may not accept.
Okay. This is really only confirming what she believes about why and him not actually being a god. But I think the second go around, she's going to try and dig more into Bahamut.
Bahamut. You begin looking through the domains.
It appears I have a
And
map.
I'd like you to roll an intelligence check as you begin to look through the domains for Bahamut.
Oof. That's a total of 9.
9. It takes you the better part of an hour before, this time you're doing a deep read. You don't find in any of the actual domains, specifically Bahamut, but you hear of allusion to a possible several other gods that are mentioned. They're not named, and you have a tough time determining if any of these quite fit this Bahamut, as you've only gathered a name from him in one of the actions that he's done in your past. Finding anything further, you may feel would require more time, as this is at this point you can no longer go by titles, and you're doing a deep read, and an hour 40 minutes has passed. You may continue to read, however, at the moment you're not gathering anything except for some non-named mentioned gods.
Okay. I don't know how much Satira really knows about the god of Tanet, the god of the red. So she may try and... She knows more about that than the other two she's trying to look up right now. But, she may try and, like, gain as much information as she actually can. Just to understand more about what it is.
Alright. You roll one more intelligence check as you begin to look for a god of the red, or the red god, something along those sorts, something that would fit that description.
Oh. I got a good one this time. Total of 21.
21. It's not too hard to find. It's not too hidden or anything of that sort.
Right.
You find a god with a large title known as Yirag, God of the Red. He was found underneath the war domain. And you read of his accolades and his aspirations and his expectations of his followers. And you read that he is a god that has committed himself against witchcraft. He is a god that has committed himself against evil beings. A god that has committed himself against the unrighteous and the inhumane. He is a god who strives to have war with all that is not intelligent, wise, great, and heroic. He's a god that wants to see evil diminished and stamped out, and his followers are expected to do such a thing. Prayer for this god is most commonly expressed in the collection of evil casters and the collective burning of them. There is no greater honor. And it goes on for some ways to say that Tenet, the city, has taken on the Red as their chosen god, as a primary god, and has even gone as far to diminish knowledge of other gods in that area. They find that, and they don't. There's no writings of them doing destructive works or anything along those lines. But there is writings about those who follow the Red tend to not follow other gods as they don't quite see them as pure. The passage goes on for some ways, but that's the general gist, as this is a overview and doesn't go too much into the logistics of this god. Is there any questions you have regarding it that I might be able to answer?
Other than, like, I don't know if this book would have the answer for it, but the behavior that she's seen displayed by these acolytes of the Red doesn't seem to line up in her mind with what Yurag promotes.
Roll an intelligence check.
Rolling an intelligence check. 16.
16. Upon immediate thought, that may be your indication is that is not, they've not been following quite their own practice. However, reflecting on your party reflecting on the specific phrasing of inhumane, a party of a tiefling, a party of a Goliath, a party of a witch, with magic that comes not from caste but from his very being. You guys are their quarry, if no less than a monster in the wilds, if they deem you to be inhuman.
Wow. Wow. Parts is like sounding very noble and good, and the parts like what they
How they perceive the scripture.
Yeah, and human or humane. Yeah.
Also,
Very reasonable and fair.
also, so I think there's about your audio, or our audio, everyone's in this audio is crunchy. It's
Getting it now.
All right, does that fix it?
We're about
Let's
How
see
long
it.
has it been fucked?
I just noticed it maybe 10 seconds before I said anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's
Somebody
better.
fixed it.
Yikes! I hope that wasn't terrible forever. Keep an eye on
sorry.
that for me, please. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I have my volume low, so I didn't notice it myself. But yeah.
That was really bad. But nonetheless,
Yeah, that's... Satira now knows a little bit more about, like, a bit more of an understanding of the Red and, like, an overall mission and goal and kind of their behavior and attitude towards her and her party and, like, first impressions. She might hang up this book and probably move towards, if she can remember where it was, the celestial like book that Abigail had pointed out to us when we were talking about Calicath and his origins.
as you go
Find
looking,
that
it's not
book, try and crack that open.
right. It's not too hard to find. A quick search, and you pull from the same shelf that she found a book that goes over. It goes over beast, celestials, fiends, and what we've learned. It's a general consensus of creatures that are seen paranormal or and I shouldn't have said beast. My apologies. It's more focused on monsters, not beast.
Creatures, yeah. She will look for a section that, if there is one, specifically talks about Azamar or like more humanoid born celestials.
Flipping through, it's not too hard to find an obvious chapter that focuses on that of celestials, that of those kind of creatures with features that are beyond human, is how it's described. You see diagrams of skulls and diagrams of features that align, that she was referring to specifically. You see that there's this back protrusions in this what looks to be an opened up skeleton, a crude drawing of one, if anything, and it goes over this body that is formed to have wings and to be these beautiful individuals capable of radiating magics. What in particular are you hoping to find while searching?
Features that line up in these diagrams, and Calicath's features as well as transformations. Are there any with multiple eyes, any with expanding mouths, any that have the same like sort of exact like closer to human features?
Roll an intelligence check.
Intelligence check. Oof, that's a 7.
Nothing, searching through there, you can only find, you can find that there is nothing regarding multitude of eyes. There are talks of a transforming phase that happens at a young age, around ages 4 to 5, where Asimars are then found to be Asimars. But besides that, nothing in particular.
Zatira has a little itch in the back of her head. Like, what else possibly could she find something in if she's having to look here? And then gets a little curious about the opposite, and the opposite of an Azamar, and we'll go over to Fiends and do a similar search.
It's crunching again, so...
Sorry, lots of issues tonight, but we're working on it, we're learning, we're doing better. That ought to fix a lot of that audio issue. We do apologize. Sure. So, we're back to it. And Zatira, you're gonna have to remind me your last question. I know you were flipping through to learn more about Yirag, I believe.
I went deeper into the Celestial and Fiend thing, trying to look into tieflings and fiendish things, or a similarity of like Azamar and fiendish origin, or whatever.
You find that in this book, you switch over to, you look in the front where it had all the chapters. You move to fiendish and fiends, where you find every single page ripped out.
Wow, that's not suspicious or anything.
Not one piece of information lasts within the fiend section.
That's something we're gonna have to ask Abigail about. Speaking of Abigail, did she show up around this time? After I've been here for like an hour and a half.
No, not yet. She's not made it to there just yet, as it's still the morning, and seemingly she may have other duties at this time.
If I knew where to find her around this time, I might ask her myself. But are there any other books similar or related to the content in this book that I could do a similar search in?
Scouring the pretty extensive library for the better part of 20 minutes, you don't find anything quickly, and you get the inclination that it'd be a pretty long search to get through all these books. And you don't quite know if there is a system or what the system might be, as none of it's not alphabetical. It's not like it's hard to determine what's going on with their system.
have one idea that might circumvent this. She will try and go back to. She will sit that book beside the God's book that she had earlier, and see if she can do a bit of cross-referencing with like features on certain Azamar and like which god that's associated with. And if she can't find anything with that, then she's gonna go to evil gods that are known.
Okay. Have you roll another intelligence check as you go searching through?
That is a total of 18.
Woo!
Looking through there, trying to find something about tieflings, trying to find something about... No, not tieflings, sorry, Aasimar, trying to find about the gods that they're connected to. There's no passage that refers to any Aasimar being related to a god, and there's also no passage of any Aasimar coming from anywhere besides Tanet and not being connected to Urag. In the short, small list of history of known Aasimar, all come from Tanet. It is almost the only... No, it is the only place that they come from, Kalikath being seemingly the only possible exception, but you're not even sure where he's from.
So Azamar seem to be only tied to Urag and Tanet, from what I'm gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That, I think she's gonna try and look through, like, try and skim through evil gods in this deity book.
As you do so, and I will mention on the fact of, because you've been looking so extensively at the Aasimar, extensively at their history, something I maybe should have mentioned earlier. I did mention that at the age around 4 to 5, they experience a transformation, and that's when they're realized to be an Aasimar. But I did not describe what that transformation was. And it's when a tiefling loses their horns.
When a tiefling loses their horns.
Apparently, they go through a painful process where the horns themselves shed from the body. Those are the two protrusions that Isabella was looking for and feeling, where the skull's dented.
So Azamar arise seemingly as a transformation from tiefling children?
Precisely, and there's no exception.
That is very interesting to Satira.
Onto the evil gods. Searching through there, you don't find much of evil gods. In fact, there's no real record of evil gods. Gods are a more recent realization in this world, and there's been plenty of ascribed names to things and prescribed domains. However, all gods come from people. They make the name, they make the culture, they make the concept. And yet has it come to society for there to be such thing as an evil god? There is one instance where there are disliked gods, depending on which culture, depending on which individual, and particularly a problem that happened between Solamnia and the Bulwark that's not very well described in this book, where the god Mistra was slain, but it does not go over what deeds Mistra may have or have not had done, or neither Solamnia.
The story of Mistra dying, and it does mention like which specific god is responsible for her death, or something else related causing her death.
It does. Excuse me one moment. It regards Helm, the god of protection, slaying Mistra outside the gates of the bulwark on a seemingly most random day, as the god apparated in her form, the size of a titan, before being slain in one fell swoop and being turned to stone.
Between two gods.
This was the first recorded instance of a god ever appearing, and ever since then, more and more and more and more gods have been created and born since then. It seems as though cultures are finding their gods at an incredibly fast rate since the appearance of Helm. And Helm has an incredibly large following due to such a event. Prior to this event, gods were seen as a more a what if they exist situation, and this event changed the perspective of the world.
They absolutely exist, and not only do they exist, they can also die.
And they can also protect you and benefit your culture and community.
Huh. And Mistra is the only one in there that I can find as like evidence of, or as like a god that was dead.
Yes, this is only got evidence of any kind of god that is dead or has died, and all the evidence, all the written gods that are in there. And this book is very extensive. It has many names. A lot of them have asterisks next to them in terms of like what the likeliness is of its existence and whatnot. It seems that the author of this book literally went around and grabbed as many names and possibilities and just got a record of what everyone thinks. There's multiple gods of death, there's multiple gods of passing, there's multiple gods of growth. It's pretty extensive.
Right. None of them have anything alluding to why, or many evil entities that she knows of. In the Book of Tieflings, or rather Azamar, excuse me, couldn't find any details that align with Kalakath's appearance, or his ability lines up. Satir is kind of stumped, and is wondering where to go next. The Fiends thing, the Fiends, like, section being torn out of that book is also, like, a very interesting detail to her. Like, it probably has some answers that I'm looking for. Need to ask about that. But then it also gives her more questions on what why is, but then also wondering herself what Cal actually is. Because she appears to be, from what she and both Cal understood, Cal was celestial born of some sort. But she can't find any evidence that's like really tying it strongly to him being celestial born, other than his transformation and his somewhat otherworldly look. But even then, it's not entirely like the examples she sees. And the origins of Azamar is also like kind of a revelation to her, but also once again makes her question, like, she kind of has more questions about Azamar now than she had before.
And I will say, you being a tiefling and experiencing life within Crossroads,
Right.
and particularly you and your brother have had to deal with a lot of this kind of information that you've declined due to your you traversed across the sea to Crossroads at a young age. You've heard many times the Red and seen yourself them shipping and taking and all willing participants offering a better life to tieflings in the areas in poverty, in the slums. They are a very generous group that will give food and shelter and things like that, coin to those in need that are specifically tiefling. The Red have always made a point to show a kindness to tieflings. You being an exception upon working with Domino.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Now she's kind of wondering, like, what distinguishes the tiefling that is going to become an Azamar versus the tieflings that stay tieflings? And what determines a tiefling being born, too?
And interrupting your thought, a knock at the door. As a gentleman and out in his suit and button-up vest kind of leans in. Oh, I should have checked here first. Master Zatir, quite the bookworm, aren't you?
Is this Walter? Or is
Yeah, this
someone
is
else?
Walter.
Oh,
This is Walter.
Hey, Walter. Yeah, I'm doing a bit homework, you could say.
Have you spent the entire night in here? After such travel, I thought you would take a rest. He takes a step
not
in.
the entire night.
Well, it seems as though you've missed breakfast, as I was waiting for you there, and
Oh,
regardless of the fact, saw you would like to see you for lunch. Once it's time, which it's not too far from there. I've been searching for you for about a few hours now. But besides the it's not a worry. I should have checked here sooner. For some reason, I had believed you had went out of the estate, and no one had seen you come or go.
I'm pretty good at not being noticed.
Quite. Well, nonetheless, saw you would like to see you within his garden, in what would be now 45 minutes. Make your way there when you can, but he I was to get you that message much earlier today, but you've seemed to elude me.
Right. Could you please inform me of where Abigail might be at this moment, or when she may be here at the library? I have a question I'd like to ask of her.
Master Zatira, I don't believe I know an Abigail.
Excuse me, Isabel. I am misspoke. Excuse me.
Quite. Isabel is currently working on a particular concept for Mr. Mr. Sawyer. It seems as though a magical item had been collected of utmost importance yesterday, and she's been sent to the more elaborate and safe study. Seems as though we've gotten our hands on some particular artifact that Sawyer needs to understand more about. So she'll be predisposed for some time as she uncovers the secrets of this, I don't know all the details. I do apologize.
Would she happen to be in need of a research partner? I'd be happy to lend a hand.
I can bring you to her as long as you're not to interrupt too poorly. Or too badly. I don't believe there's any restrictions for you going there. Just understand that it is down in the basement and it is for their safety to be there and your safety as well. If you don't mind, I could show you where it is. However, you do have 45 minutes if you think you have enough time.
I'll do a quick visit with her, ask her my question, and then I will immediately be on my way to the garden.
All right. Now, Zatira, I will be taking you to the basement. You may see things. Right. I need to have your word that you will not act rash. Your
Well,
one you came with, Domino, would be down there, and I don't really know your relation, but I'm not to be one. I do not wish to put you in a position of distress, and I do not wish to put you in a position that may not be favorable for Sawyer. Do you understand what I'm saying?
right. Zatira will raise an eyebrow and ask, might I ask, what exactly is Sawyer's interest in Domino?
I wish I could tell you, Zatira. I do not know.
Huh.
I only know that it was, loosely your job to bring, something else here, and Sawyer seemed to appreciate this much more. I can tell you that Mako had an interest in him, but that's all I know from there.
Very well. Either way.
Well then, very well. And he kind of leads on his way, and he's walking and stepping through. And he speaks loudly, though his words indicate that he doesn't want you to tell anyone, which is a bit contradictory because there's people walking about and whatnot. And as you're walking through the halls, he kind of talks back to you, and he goes, "Now don't let anyone know that I'm letting you into the basement, and don't let anyone know that I'm allowing you to see her." And it's an odd juxtaposition of what's happening as many people kind of listen and look at you and then go back to their business, but he speaks proudly and loudly about what you are currently doing.
You know, you could be a little bit more subtle about this thing you don't want me to talk about.
I'm sorry, Satir. I am a blabbermouth. I am one to speak out of turn. I do apologize. I'll keep quiet. And you continue your way through the building, find your way down the stairs to the first floor, and down the stairs to the second first floor, where you find that, oddly, the space of this has gone strange. You had gone up one flight of stairs, and now you went down two flights of stairs, but the windows shine light nonetheless. And then you find your way to a vault, not a vault, but what looks to be a vault. A large door with a big wheel of metal with a small, like, spigot to grab onto. And he grabs onto it and he's spinning it, and spinning it, spinning it.
Right, that's it, soldier boy.
Hmm?
Don't mind me. I don't know what came over.
And it clicks, and the door, a bit of air kind of comes from the door. An enchantment, you see, breaks for a second. And you can hear a sort of yell kind of echo its way through. Hurry on then. The enchantment won't we like to keep the halls as quiet as possible.
Is there any light sources down there?
Looking down there are light sources that kind of highlight its way down. Number of sconces that are currently lit going down the stairwell. It's a metal staircase, contrastingly to all the wooden, the rest of the building's wood and whatnot. This is this metal door, metal stairs, very clean and almost scientific kind of style look of it.
You know, normally, if you have a problem with a person, you just send them into prison somewhere else, not a prison within your own home.
Sawyer's not most people.
So where will we find her exactly?
You may find her at the end of the hall, past 3 doors on the right. There is a red triangle that indicates the room.
Are you not allowed within this room? Or within this
I'm
section?
to guide, I'm to escort, I'm to lead. And I'm not to say what I shouldn't, but I do nonetheless. That's my function.
Alright. Well, I should be out in 20 minutes maximum.
He'll be waiting for you. And the door kind of sits open for you to enter.
Alright. Before she directly steps in,
Sorry
she
about
would
the
like
audio.
to Yeah. I mean, it's appropriately menacing and intense. Zadru would like to insight check that part where he emphasized you can go in there, and how he's allowed to guide and lead, except right now.
Oh, yeah, roll an insight check.
Ah, dang it. That's a natural one. Total of 2.
It's hard to gather what he's trying to say from that. His stance stays the same. His movement's rigid. His movement's solid. He speaks eloquently. He speaks kindly, and he's shown kindness to you before. This seems to be a service to you. It seems as though he's risking his neck, or maybe not, considering the talk upstairs. It's hard to gather what's happening.
Really, unpredictable. Hard to read that, Walter. Hard to really pin down. And I guess Satira will be like, okay, well, I'll see ya. And then she'll just walk in and follow his directions.
Your footsteps echo, and behind you, you hear a soft, like, cushiony sound as the big metal door kind of finds its way. So it echoes a little bit, in, and you can hear the wheel turning and turning and turning, and there's a click. You're about halfway down the stairs as you hear it happen. It echoes its way down. Progressing forwards, you walk down the stairs, and immediately to your right is a large glass window and a door on the right. And looking in there, you can see an individual exhausted, sweat pooled on the floor, green clothes just completely soaked. A domino, Laverna, a once ally of yours, chained to a wall, hands above his head, vomit on the floor, sitting there, currently no one in his cell. There are several cells with the same manner. To the left, more glass that you would need to step up to look into, and several doors that lead on the ways. And in the very end of the door, in the center, lies a thick-looking black metal door with a red handle, just sitting there. It's very contrasting to the rest of the room.
Does it have the red triangle marking it, like you mentioned?
That door, no, but the door that may have that triangle marking is just a little bit further, as you're still at the front of the hallway, looking in and seeing immediately to your right the domino.
Sorry, pal. Maybe if you survive this, I can get you out in one piece. And she will progress forward, maybe taking like quick glances at like whoever else is in there, like if it's like even general features of people.
Are you looking through all of them real quick, just a glance, or are you going to just look at the next one?
A quick glance in all of them, but as she's moving down.
The one on the left, you look in there and you see a creature of beauty, a gorgeous creature. A horse with a white horn that kind of sits there almost like shimmering. Although the issue is it's missing all legs from the knee down. And it's currently suspended in the air by these large metal rods going straight through its shoulders and its back hind shoulders. And several tubes all throughout it, almost looking like a centipede's worth up its body. It's not truly 1,000, but it's just a bunch of tubes running up, very small, like catheters, running blood. And you see the blood kind of find its way all the way down to what would be a small lab set, where there's a small drip into what looks to be a vial, about halfway full. And the vial itself glows various colors as it kind of, each drip kind of makes it ripple into a rainbow. You've never seen such a creature before.
Wow. Okay. It's true. Quickly look away from that one. It's like, oh, you know, I just maybe getting a little curious. It's a bad idea. And she'll just continue down, ignoring the rest of them.
Continuing down. ignoring the rest of them. You're moving on, and you're kind of like, oh God, continue. One is unavoidable as you hear a loud slam onto a window as your head quickly jerks to the right. This is the one right after Domino, and a creature with several human hands slapping onto the window not really breaking it or moving it. You see that shrimp creature that you once found within the fisherman's laboratory of sorts. The fisherman's catch. The creature with several human hands slapping. There's blood currently like coating the window side. You can't even see that much through it besides the pieces that get kind of pressed and then cleared into what looks to be several faces down a large mouth of this creature that bends awkwardly.
Ah, fuck that. You were staying there. And she's continuing on.
Pressing forwards, immediately to the right, this being the third door on the right, you see a door with a red triangle, simple like latch door. It looks pretty hefty, the metal, like it would be like a thunk kind of latch, but one nonetheless. And trying to look into the window, you can't see anything. It's completely tinted black. This does match Walter's description.
She will open the door and peer in. Initially, she won't step in entirely. She'll just do like a quick glance in, see if she can immediately see Isabel.
Yeah. You reach up, grab the doorknob, twist, thunk. You can hear several locks when it moves. It looks like whenever you unlock it, of course, but you hear what sounds to be like 3 large solid metal rods get sucked into the door. That's how hefty the lock is. And you try to pull that door open just a bit, just to look in. And there's a faint blue glow in the room. And a individual standing over a table that kind of looks up at you, goggles on, currently like full weld mask kind of thing. It's hard to determine who quickly makes eye contact with you.
Excuse me, Isabel?
Close the door! Get in here or get out!
I will slip in quickly and then close the door.
You close it, there's like thunk, and then the room starts to glow a red, and you can see arcane scripture all over the corners of the room. What the hell? What are you doing here, Zatira? You can hear a muffled voice, but Isabella nonetheless.
I heard that you had a project you were working on. I was wondering if you needed any assistance in research, as well as a question about a particular book you had in a... Goodness.
Looking at her, she's currently has an apron on, which looks like a welding apron. And she has in her hands tools that you've never seen before, arcane drills that kind of spin and they stop, and like a small arcane flame that stops as well. And you can see behind her, currently held up on, propped up by these two metal prongs, a mask, a golden mask, one that you've seen before, Pearl's golden mask, with a large cut into it, and you can see these arcane words and runes kind of shaking violently. This is really dangerous. What are you doing in here?
It looks really dangerous. I was wondering what the heck you were doing.
I'm getting this open for Sawyer so we could see where it goes.
Open?
Well, yeah, it's hard to explain, Magic, but I can't talk with you right now. I'm busy.
Okay.
And a bit of electricity kind of zips off the mask.
All right, I'll leave you to it. Let me know when you're finished with that. I have a potentially pertinent question for you, but it can wait.
And with that, you quickly open the door, and when the gust of wind comes in, an arcane wave kind of blasts out, and you coming after that, you close it. It pushes your hair back. You can feel a wave of heat kind of hit you. The red arcane runes that were lighting up the room do a flash of blue before you close the room again. Not really sure what any of that was about.
All right. Interesting. She will straighten out her now frazzled hair. Ah, learned all sorts of new things today. And she will quickly leave, not paying any attention to any of the crazy displayed subject rooms.
Roll a perception check.
I said not pay attention.
I said not pay attention. 17. Oh no, I'm paying attention. Oh,
17.
Yeah, roll a
You-
wisdom check.
You're focused on getting out of there quickly. You're like not paying attention, but you do hear a sound that reflexively causes your body to like stop for a second and a chill run down your spine, and you hear a door close down the hall. You were heading towards the stairs out of the exit, and you like look over your shoulder, and you don't see it close, but you know with the sound and the way it traveled, that door at the end had been opened, but you had just heard it close, just as quietly as it could.
the door behind me that I had
The
just
door at the
opened and left
very
through?
end of the hall, the black onyx-looking door with the red knob, possibly something or someone looking through, darting back in
Onyx?
and closing it.
Tira's gonna try and remain more alert now. As she's gonna once again quickly and subtly try and leave the room, leave this dungeon area,
Head out the hall.
but paying more attention to where that came from.
You head out the hall, up the stairs, and get to the door at the top, which you find is completely flat with no handles. But as soon as you stop to go, how do I get out of here? The door swings open. Walter stands there with a gentle smile on his face. Not really any coyness to it or laughingness, just a general smile as he... Mrs. Atira, you find what you were looking for?
She was a little too busy for me to ask anything, so I'll ask her later. I'll come back later.
Sorry to hear that, then.
Anyway, Saria needs me?
Yes. And if you don't need me, I'll be off to my duties, unless you don't know where the...
I don't believe I recall where his garden is, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. And if you would mind, and he begins to lead you as he's done many times before. This time you travel...
when you mentioned a friend being down there, I thought that was the most I was gonna see. But holy moly. And that's that's where she stops talking about it.
He doesn't get much of a response as he travels forwards. His body as rigid as always, and he's just kind of like stepping forward with a bit of gusto to each step. Gusto maybe not the right word, but a intent on getting his objectives done. Walks up the stairs, takes a few lefts, a few rights, and you begin to map out this labyrinth a little bit further. And you are certain by now, if before you were a bit maybe concerned or worried, you're now certain that this building is just way too big. Like for the distance you've gone horizontally makes no sense graphically with how big the building was. The building's big, don't get me wrong, but the directions you've gone have made no sense. And especially for you going to the first floor, finding that light was coming through the windows made no sense either. And eventually you get to a part of the building that has an archway. And in that archway is a small glow, the brightest you've seen this building be, and a little bit of warmness hits you, contrasting all the cold air from around. This will be the garden, and I will be back soon with lunch. I believe you are about 5 minutes early, so if Sawyer's in there, very well. If not, he'll be seeing you soon. If you need anything else from me, always feel free to call. I will hear.
Thank you, Walter.
Mm.
I'll just sit here to myself and enjoy the flowers.
Turns around and walks back into the building. And as you walk forward through this archway, which you never left the building, kind of. This is like an open door, as though there was no door to be there in the first place. You walk through the archway, and there's the sound of gentle running water. And you feel the heat of what would be the sun on your face and your body, and it feels good. But as you look up, there's an oddness where you can't find the sun, and you can't find much of like any kind of bearings, and it's just bright up there. You progress forward to these large trees with various reds and blue kind of leaves, most of them green, but occasionally you pass through this tree that is completely blue. It's beautiful. And there's this running water that kind of finds its way, pooling in the middle, where you find various exotic fish swimming in circles. And across a small wooden bridge is a table. A small lawn chair, 2 lawn chairs pulled to the sides of it, underneath a large shade tree. There are birds that chirp, squirrels that run around. It's beautiful.
Well, Satira will quite literally stop to smell the flowers.
You pick one of the flowers, and it's this white flower with a blue center that wraps around upwards. As you pick it, all the flowers around there are kind of like almost like a audio synth kind of thing, kind of wave outwards. The blues turning to reds quickly before doling back to white. And you hold this flower that's just, it's quite beautiful in your hands. A white tulip-looking thing that rolls around with a blue center. But none of the flowers react besides that moment of this ripple of red.
Does she know what kind of flowers these are?
You smell them.
React
You
in such a way?
roll a nature check.
Sure. That is a total of 22.
You're not very well versed in nature things, but you are versed enough to know this is weird. You've never seen this thing before. This is either some exotic rich people got hold of flowers from who knows where and who knows what, some elf shit. It's hard to tell what this is.
Satira will have the flower she picked and have it as a little corsage on her.
Oh.
Then we'll sit down at the table and take more of a look around at the place. So it's open sky, or at least appears to be open sky, but I cannot see the sun.
It's as open sky as it can be. You can't see a blue sky. As you look up, it's just this white void, and you're trying to like gather if it's sky, if there's clouds, and as it hurts your eyes to do so, you can't quite look up and get an idea. It's just this white void that goes on. And if you look from where you came, which is in eyesight from here, just some trees blocking about half the entrance. It goes from this white wall, or maybe like this like grayish wall, into nothingness. The stone frame you walk through is like a portal of sorts.
Strange. Satira's assuming that this is some more like high-level magic stuff going on, that like he can just have his own greenhouse in a room, and then also explaining like the weird like twists and turns and like a feeling of it being bigger on the inside.
You see these 2 beetles currently working together to roll a log across the ground. It's an odd sight as they kind of like slap it, like kind of like these little stingers hit the log. It's like they're obviously doing something. And you see that down the way they're like making an actual, what would be like a bird's nest. It's an odd sight. It's down the river a little bit, and you can see them. They're kind of large beetles. You can see various kind of fish swimming through the water, and when the light hits it a certain way, the fish become completely translucent and invisible before they twist a certain way and become completely visible again, a flurry of colors before turning into a gray-scaled creature. It's odd how they just go in disappear, flashbang to rainbow, back to normal. And some birds kind of like chirp through the trees, and specifically it's a cacophony of sound, of song that happens. The birds singing. You hadn't realized it before, but they sing a melody, all in tune, all in phrase, and it sounds like a actual choir or maybe a band playing some church hymn. But it's so faint, you wouldn't recognize it had you not taken a moment to breathe and hear it. It's like a never-ending chorus. And it almost takes you away enough to not realize Sawyer walked through the door, but you do. As Sawyer walks in, serious steps, one after another, kind of kicks his heels a little bit before he walks into the room. And he's slowly making his way to you. Eventually, he gets to you.
Sir?
Zatira. And he pulls the chair back, takes a seat. I was hoping to speak with you. I appreciate you accepting my invitation.
Sir?
You may think of me as a monster, and I hope to address that if you're going to be working for me.
The moment he says that, she immediately thinks of like what was going on with what you saw in the dungeon, and then versus this.
You keep dangerous company. And when he says that, he raises his neck a little bit and points to a scar, a straight line scar, done by one of your previous allies.
Oh, yeah.
I can respect that. Though you can understand how that makes you both useful and dangerous. Tell me, what drives you to keep such company?
The fact that with such company, anything really could be done.
I can't disagree with
I don't
that.
even. I couldn't tell you how I truly found some of these folks. I just kind of stumbled upon some of these colorful characters and tag along a little while, and boy oh boy, the adventures we have.
Yes. I can certainly relate to luck. But before too much business, Walter! Walter appears, coming through the door, stepping through. Grab Mr. Tira something from the top shelf, won't you? Yes, sir. Right away. Walter disappears back into the doorway.
What's the occasion?
I always wish to meet new family members and welcome them properly. So the occasion is you and a celebration. How do you care for the garden?
It's very impressive. I must say, how did you get this? How did you do this?
I lost a lot. But when losing things, other things can be found. You might relate. I've done some research into who you are. You worked for Sebastian well in the past few years, haven't you?
Well, for most of my life, I think.
I hear that you've lost your home. Or what ran from a home? It's a bit unclear what I've found. And I was hoping you could, enlighten me as to who you are. Truly. Not just your accolades.
Well, if you're referring to my apartment that
No,
the
no,
chime
no.
I had, and then
Bit before
further
that.
back.
Yes.
Well, for as long as I could remember, I had known the orphanage. I never really enjoyed spending much time there other than sleeping and getting whatever free meals they provided. Otherwise, I'd run along in the streets and either pick pockets, do a little performance, put on a show, and try earn money for myself. I think that's exactly what got your son's attention. But, I don't know where I really came from. I was hoping that maybe eventually I could someday find out where I ended up at that orphanage.
Not many of us do. Know where we came from. But I can have a massive amount of respect for what you've made of yourself. Not just my son gives you great accolades, but my daughter as well, Sophia. Seems as though you know how to get things done. Do you know what we do, Zatira? You know how I make my money.
I have a general idea of trade and business deals and the like, but not many specifics, really.
I help people. In a world where I shouldn't help anyone, I help them. I develop cures. And I can cure nearly anything now. Nearly. It takes sacrifices to bring these kind of things into this world. And I find that many wish to stop things like this existing in this world. We have a history of problems, Zatira. And I have a history of resolving them. There was a time when the Red wanted to outlaw all trade of my potions and reverie. Secret between you and me, they wish to capitalize on the healing trade. So, I removed Mako and planted my own surrogate.
Removed Mako?
Oh.
Going on further, Kohi once wished for me to not have such a strong hold upon this land. So I introduced the Red, and then necessity. Not myself, of course, but through his advisors. He lost his function, he lost his power. Further beyond there, an individual named Baron Leonis didn't agree with my doings. Funny enough, the Mako situation helped in that regard. Problems and solutions. You follow me?
I believe so.
The gold mask. They're different. They've been a thorn in my side for as long as I can recall. For years I have searched and searched, and they've even taken... It's besides the point. I've searched for them. Not a whisper, not a word, not even a small hair. Simply shipments stolen of goods, items taken in the night, and no reports from my crews besides a band of mask in gold. You, I made a mistake with and mistreated. Nonetheless, you, in the span of a week, have supposedly spoken with the gold mask, uncovered their operatives. You've made it much farther than any of my men in 1 week than they have in years. They are in my way. That is why I'm hiring you. Do we understand each other now? The situation and your value to this family.
I think I do, sir.
Good.
Though I can't claim all the credit.
You have a crew, and I will reward you enough for your crew and yourself. And I'll have future endeavors if you wish to take them. I can tell you these things because you have my brand. Don't make me use it, please.
I will certainly do my best, sir. She gives a nervous laugh at that.
This place could be beautiful. Not just this home, not just this room. Everything could be beautiful if people stopped getting in the way. Is there anything I should know about these masks before I sick you on them?
Well, what I've uncovered is probably information you are already pertinent to, but doing a little bit of digging, I couldn't find any sort of real deities that aligned with what Wide does, or his behavior, his ability, and whatnot, so I don't believe he's truly a divine entity. I wanted to find out if he was more evil and infernal, but I ran into a wall. Wanted to look into the possibilities of him creating his own, and she'll put in air quotes, Azamar equivalent, but I couldn't find anything that would support that either. The only thing that I think gives him true reach is these physical masks, but I don't understand their abilities myself.
I have Isabella on that now. If the evidence that's provided proves useful, I'm going to have you be informed of it immediately. Zatira, I want you to trust me as much as I want to trust you, and I know that that comes with time. But your talents can't be wasted. And they shan't. And upon that time, about Walter makes it back, holding a fancy bottle within it. It looks like a D4, and he walks up with it, kind of like passing through the trees and whatnot. And Walter quietly places it next to you as to not interrupt. This will cure any particular problems you might run into on the field, Mr. Tyrrell. I would suggest holding it off until something dire. And he gives a nod, he gives a big bow, and he disappears. He starts to head his way back, and as he's about to be back through the doors, Sawyer calls out one more time. And the tool? Yes, sir. And Walter disappears one more time to collect more items.
Might I ask what exactly this is? Gesturing to the bottle.
Looking at the bottle, it's a D4 looking diamond, like pyramid style thing with a cork on the top that holds that of a Pegasus head, or maybe a horse's mane or horse's head. It's a very eloquent bottle that looks like it could be just rich and wealthy enough, just the bottle itself. And when you know when you shake a potion, it's a red, bloody, viscous kind of form that glows into a red form. This one, when he places it, it's a clear water. And upon disturbance, it becomes a shimmering rainbow. This is the greatest of my creations to date. It will heal and mend very deep wounds. Anything besides death has it mended. Use it wisely and to preserve yourself for this family. In time, you may be considered family your own. Have you any questions for me before I let you go?
Kira, like, pauses for a second and, like, visibly kind of hesitates before she asks, but she'll say out loud, "Forgive me if this is too personal or too forward, but may I ask, why are you so interested in Domino of all people?"
Domino holds keys. Holds keys to lost people and holds keys to a place I want to get to. I don't want to hurt Domino. I don't want to hurt anyone. But in my time, I've learned that some people have to be hurt in order to help most people. These creatures, and he looks over across this little garden. These plants, they come from a place I dream of. I hope to get there one day. I believe my daughter might be there waiting for me. And most unfortunately for him, I have reason to believe he's connected.
What do you think he knows about
Nothing.
what you're looking for?
I don't think he knows a thing. However, through extreme stress, we are seeing results. I cannot tell you much further, but I have someone working on it now. I want to trust you, but that will take time, Zatira.
could tell me, isn't people in a place you're trying to get to, and Sawyer's the key. What is this place? Who are these people?
Some people don't believe in its existence. It goes by many names. I myself refer to it as the Fae. And I think my daughter's there.
Makes you say that?
An individual who's experienced something has educated me. But I won't go much further with this with you, Zatura. This doesn't pertain to your task. I've lost a lot in my time. I lost my wife in a house fire, born from the hatred and putridness of misguided individuals who attacked me for no other reason and my family than their complexion and race. I've experienced the world be horrid. And now I've lost my daughter. I don't intend to lose anyone more. And if I can retrieve her, I will do so. But this isn't a purely narcissistic, to my benefit endeavor. This may open the doors to combating death itself. Have I enough time to study? This is an endeavor that helps everyone, as my intention is to help people. I wish to make it there. See what there is to offer. Collect what there is to collect. Bring it back to this realm. And make a beautiful world. Will you help me with that, Zatura? Will you help me get my family back? I'll make it worth your life.
I'll do whatever I can.
Good.
Mr. Sawyer, I don't want to give any false hope, but there is something that I think may be of interest to you. Back when we were doing our first mission to acquire the Silver Vine from the Iron Taker Tavern, one of my associates' tank was replaced by a doppelganger. We didn't know of any other changelings that would have any interest in this. But we had found Tank. He was the one that was attacked and was replaced during the mission. He gave us a description of who he believed was the one that attacked him.
I have a daughter, my eldest, who doesn't believe in my interest, and has gotten in the way many times. They believe in some lost and confused order. And at this point, he kind of like squeezes the glass he's been drinking from, and it cracks. It doesn't break, but it cracks as if frustration hits his brow and anger hits his face, and he becomes flush. The black speckles in his white translucent skin begin to grow, like kind of expand and retract and expand and retract, kind of like a squid who's in its panic and trying to scare away a prey. Zatira, neglect her. She is confused and listens to the words of misguided instruments. They know not what they talk about, and they know not what they believe the order. And they get in my way plenty. And he takes a moment to breathe. Nonetheless, she's just a misguided soul. And I am sorry that she's gotten in your way. My family runs deep, extensive, and not everyone in my kids agree with me in my mission. I believe I know who that is. There's not many changelings around these parts.
If I may ask, you mentioned an order, or is there something or someone else that they're listening to?
There's a group on the islands. They call themselves the Iron Order. They believe themselves to be more virtuous than thou. They're foolish. They know not my intention. But they are not important when compared to the problem that is this golden mask and their leader.
Right. I also mentioned this because they had once impersonated me to try and extract information from your son's associates. Asking around about me and the company that I had kept at the time.
Zatira. I give you authorization to rid yourself of her. She does not seek any benefit to the family. She stands in the way of retrieving those lost. She's dead to me.
Understood.
Good. Don't know what's keeping Walter so long, but he'll have a new crossbow for you. And one more thing. I took you from Sebastian. One, because of your accolades. But two, I want to keep my family as far away from this golden mask as I possibly can. You will not have him involved any further for any reason. You work for me now, and he is subordinate to you. So keep my son out of this and kill the leader of the Golden Mask.
Understood, sir.
Now, I don't mean to be rude, but I did not know she was in town. And he throws his glass at the water, crashes. The red kind of runs its way down the stream. He gets a little bit angry and he tries to calm himself down, but you can tell he's starting to lose his patience, finding out that his daughter has been getting in his way yet again. But I need you to leave and get that damn job done. I'll reward you after the fact.
With that, Satira will stand up. Just before she leaves the area of the table, she will curtsy and bow and will walk away quietly.
You grab your potion. He doesn't quite turn around and even look at you as you give the bow.
Right.
And you begin heading your way out. And he's just kind of looking in the water, contemplating the fact that he may have just given an order to get his eldest daughter killed. We'll travel away from you. And we'll travel to a completely different scene.
Ooh-wee.
Aria, it was a beautiful day. Things were fine. Things were good. Life was going as well. You were stick fighting with Astrid.
Yeah.
Before the day gets interrupted by a massive explosion.
Oh God! Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, I know that Astrid is going to try to jump in front of the kids, try to protect them, and Arya is going to probably selfishly grab to hide behind something. Like, oh God! I mean, no, what's happening? I'm lost.
Arya, roll a dexterity saving throw as you begin to dodge all the shrapnel that explodes outwards as it's just instantly happening.
Excellent. 17.
17. Arya, you dive forwards, shoving a few kids out the way as you cower beneath Astrid, who has his arms out in his body, covering over a few children. The shower of planks and wood and nail fall forwards. Calicat, you're falling to the ground. I want you to roll a dexterity saving throw as you see the sky beginning to grow away from you as you fall downwards, the ground beneath you falling. A piece of the church bell, ting tong, starts to fall its way, almost about to decapitate you.
Uh-oh.
18.
18.
Yes.
As you roll your way to the right, the boom as the church bell hits the ground, just barely not decapitating you as you roll your body forwards. You fall your footstep upwards, but the walls are still coming in. Arya, what are you doing?
Arya will look around, see what he sees. What does he see?
Arya, you see that the building and the church explode shrapnel. You peek over Astrid's arms, who are currently outwards, kind of protecting everyone. You can see currently that the building is starting to collapse inward. Something has happened in there, but it's unclear as to what.
Arya thinks for a second, hesitates a little bit, and he's like, damn it, I gotta, and runs inside while Astrid is trying to protect the kids.
All right, you go sprinting inside, finding your way in. It's immediately you're on your way, but Calicat, as you're on your way, Calicat, another piece of the wall begins to cave inwards, starting to collapse onto you. Stonework running all the way up 20 feet high, falling inwards now as the explosion kind of came out and the energy ricocheted back inwards. The left wall completely flattened, but the right wall on its way. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw or do an action of your choice. You do have an action.
Let's see. Sorry, I had to pull up my character sheet again. I'm going to make another dexterity saving.
Another dexterity saving throw. All right, roll a dexterity saving throw as the wall begins to collapse inwards. You just barely dodging the big fucking bell that came clamoring down.
Right.
22.
22. As you
Very
begin to take a
nice.
run, you take a jump over the bell, and the wall collapses inwards. Dust starts to billow upwards. Arya, you swing open the door to find rubble behind it.
And I don't get into the church. I don't see anything.
You can squeeze through the rubble. It's difficult terrain as it seems to be coming through. Like the church itself has fallen in and the rubble does settle. However, more importantly, you hear a large whistle kind of come from the road behind you.
A whistle? Well, I guess
A whistle, like that of a local. You turn around, look behind you, and you see several Red Guard blowing a whistle and running as the explosion has immediately called in the closest authorities.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, over here! I think I think a few people are in there.
Oh,
No.
they're currently closing in. Kalikath, what are you doing?
Where am I at the moment?
Currently, Kalikath, there's dust in the air. You're currently like trying to get it out of your eyes. You're trying to open it. Roll a perception check.
Gotcha. I forgot about the map. Perception.
Oh yes, the map.
A 17.
17. You get your eyes cleared. Your eyes are watering. It's hard to look around. You see a piece of fire currently like ignited from the cinders that have now fallen on the wood. The dry wood currently ignited. Off to the right, where all the dead vines are currently also igniting. And then, as far as you can gather, to the left is the exit or the entrance of the church. You're on the first floor, currently trying to gather your bearings, but you do know where is the exit, at least the front door, and the wall to your right has collapsed inwards with a big hole in it. There is still some standing wall there. I said left, I meant right.
I got you. I'm gonna start sprinting towards what I believe is the exit. On sprinting, are there any maybe softball-sized rocks that might be on the ground?
Yeah,
Either
there's
all the rubble,
plenty.
just something I can quickly see. I want to snatch one up,
All right, you snatch up a piece of a brick.
and I'll continue running towards the exit.
All right, you go sprinting your way forwards. You're stepping away through. You blast the barrels of the door. What is Astra doing there in this time as the rubble has finished? You open the door, and currently blocking your path is an Arya, kind of looking at you with a bit of a befuddled face. But before we get to that, Arya, what's happening to Astrid?
Astrid, the kids are safe, right?
The kids are
Kids
safe
are all good?
relatively. A couple kids are running away. One kid has this really nasty gash in her head. The dark-haired kid currently laying on the floor, like kind of crying and screaming outwards.
I don't know what Astrid has. Because I don't have a thing. All right, Astrid's gonna start walking towards us to see what's going on, see if there's any active danger happening, because he thinks we just got attacked.
Astrid begins sprinting his way over to you, which with his speed, he makes it to there, running right by the girl. He now sees that one of her eyes are completely like crushed inwards as a piece of stonework came flying in. This was the one watching you and him studying you two about the healing hands and stuff. She's just screaming outwards. He runs past her, trying to we gotta get to my party, gotta figure out what's going on. Runs underneath the chair, the canopy, and comes face to face with several Red Guard blowing the whistles, and then he hears one scream, "It's the Goliath!"
Uh-oh.
And Kalikath, you swing open the door. Or no, you don't swing open. The door's already open as you come. You're like squeezing through, and there's Arya right in front of the way out.
Kalikath, what's going on? What's happening?
Can we see each other clearly?
You're currently like relatively crawling, and because the rubble's almost filling up half the door, and you're about to squeeze through the door. You can't see each other, but you're like crawling like it's filled up most of the door, and you can see his face at your face. You guys are at each other's level.
Got you. Ignore that for now. I yell at Arya. What does it look like? The building exploded. Get out of my way.
Yeah. What happened? Why is there an enemy in there? What's going on?
Do you want to talk about this right now?
I mean, all things considered, yes.
I shove Arya as hard as I can.
Arya, you get shoved to the side as he pushes his way through. Kalikath, you too make your way out to see several Red Guard currently making their way over, and it's not a small amount as the whistle kind of called in a few. There's 3 at the moment, but you can be sure that there are more on its way.
Oh.
What are you 3 doing? And all you hear scream out is, "It's the Goliath!"
Yeah, that's probably not good.
Sort of initiative?
I don't
No,
think we're
not right now.
initiative. No.
You guys have some actions to make, but if they get too close to you, it will be initiative.
Gotcha.
All right.
How high is this wall right over here on the left side?
That wall, that's about a 5.5-foot wall.
I start pushing Arya towards that direction.
Okay. Astrid follows, and
Yeah,
I guess
and
we're all going
wave.
that way.
Yeah, we wait
You
towards
referred to a wall
Astrid
the stream can't see, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm
There's
sorry.
a wall current. No, it's fine. It's fine. You couldn't know. There's a wall off to the east. All right.
I didn't know what they could see.
Yeah, I get you. You begin to sprint your ways over to that wall. It is part of a building, and there's a window currently cut out in the building.
Is there glass in the window?
There is glass. There's no glass. So like there is glass in that window. Yes.
I will hurl my brick at it as hard as I can.
All right. So you quickly vault the wall along with Arya and Astrid out behind, and as you're vaulting the wall, you're the one first. You put your hand left hand on the wall, pulling yourself over. The right hand has a brick, and you just fucking punt that shit like a tennis racket going full-on smash down as it goes flying through the window. There's a resounding crash as it kind of like breaks through. You can hear a woman scream from the inside of this building that you jumped over her fence to.
I'm going to leap through the window.
All right, you go ahead and leap through the window. Who's taking the caboose?
Is this a window into someone's house, or?
Yes. They jumped over the fence, and now there's someone's house.
So we jumped over a fence and now we're so.
Yeah, Calicat's immediately going into this house where there's a scream. Who's taking the caboose, Astrid or Arya?
I think Astrid was originally.
I guess Astrid was last, so I
All right,
guess.
does a 17 hit Astrid?
I'm gonna. Yeah, let me pull it up real quickly. I'm gonna guess maybe. That's
I think he has like a 16.
a fundamental guess is maybe.
We're gonna go with yes because we're running low in time. So with that, 3 damage as a crossbow bolt finds its way into his calf as he's scattering over the wall. Fink! Ah! You hear him scream outwards as he flips over, kind of like falling heavily onto the other side of the wall. Though he is a monk, currently there's a lot of shit happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap happening.
Just a
isn't there?
lucky shot by that archer that currently fired outwards as you hear more crossroads scream, "Follow them! Follow them!"
Wait, you're not gonna.
What are you guys doing?
Not gonna kiss that one.
Am I in the house now?
Who are they?
You're in the house, Cal.
Do I see my brick?
Why are we in the
Calicath, you roll a perception check as you jump through you crash through the door. The brick's currently missing. There's shrapnel, there's like glass all over, like kind of glinting. I want you to roll a perception check.
I got an 8.
8.
Yeah.
You're quickly looking around. Your heartbeat's beating. Your eyes are becoming pinhole, and you do see your brick that's currently crashed through the window.
I quickly snatch up the brick and I continue running.
You snatch it up, cutting up your hand as you grab a handful of glass as well, and you're running. Arya, what you see is Calicath smash in the window. He flips over. You flip over the fence, and when you look through this window, you can see the what's it called, like the outline of Calicath, full body sprinting through this hallway of some random people's house to another window at the other side of the house.
Fucking.
What is it? What is he doing?
I will let Arya move first.
Arya, it's your turn. And there's people, there's Redguard currently coming around. You can see them. You can see the tops of their heads passing around the fence.
Okay. Well, Arya can move like 75, 70 feet per round. So
It's all athletics unless we're in initiative.
yeah. I guess he's just. Calicath, did you already break the window? Right.
Yeah, the window's broken. The window's broken.
What about the second window? Right.
The second window is off to the right and goes to the kitchen.
You're not in the house yet.
You're not in
That's
the
what
house.
he's saying.
All right, I jumped in the house.
Dude,
and
the first
so
window
does
was the
Astrid.
second window.
What do you mean? It's the first window, the open window.
Okay. You vault into the first window after Calicath, who's already halfway across to the house, to go running straight through to get to the second window. And what's Astrid doing?
Astrid's following us, I guess. We're just going straight through, you know?
Astrid's running straight through too. Astrid does a quick flip into the house. You guys are running through. Calicath, you're getting closer and closer to this window. What are you doing?
I take the brick and I chuck it as hard as I can at the window.
Get
out of my way!
Roll an athletics check as you fucking shuck that shit while you're running.
Fuck, I'm not good at athletics. I got a 17.
17 as the whole window first gets hit by this rock that shatters, and then the next thing that finds the window is your shoulder as you scream, "Get out of the way!" to a window, and shoulder bash the shit. You do take 1 point of damage as you fall like body first into glass. Aria? Astrid?
Yeah, Arya and Astrid are following. You know, we're going at full speed. Calicat, do you have a plan? Or are you just running through windows? What are we doing?
The only thing I scream is the ladder.
What ladder? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Calicat, you fall to your body like arm first. You pull yourself up, quickly grab your brick, look up, and you scream the ladder. And in front of you is the other side of the fence, and no ladder. As you look left and right, there's not like you can just come over the fence or.
When I
continue.
shouted the ladder, I meant as in the second choice.
Oh, I get you. I get you. There is straight
The ladder
forwards.
of the two.
That's funny. There's straight forwards, which is over the fence. There's to the left, which is to the red guard, and there's to the right, that is to another fence that you don't know where it goes. It's like a fenced-in house.
Why would Arya know what ladder? You say ladder. What is
I
this?
said the two. Shut up.
Of the two, Arya doesn't know which is first and which is second.
The
They don't
second
have
one you
counting.
said.
Calicat, what are you doing?
Is
We're
the
running out of
fence
time.
5? Is the fence still 5 feet tall?
Yes, it's still 5.5 feet tall.
I jumped that shit too.
Alright, you jump over that shit. Arya, you're halfway through the house, and there is a ladder to the second story.
No, I'm following Calicat. Calicat said something about a ladder.
Template choice.
Really, that confused Arya more than anything.
It would be funny.
Calicat, Arya, you go vaulting over. You're catching up to Calicat at this point because Calicat's the one having to deal with all the obstacles. By this point, you are both kind of clambering over the fence together, and a couple Red Guard twist their way around the building. A couple archers aim their ways towards you. What are you doing as two Red Guard? You look to your left, have their archery like devices, their crossbows aimed right at you. You doing anything as you jump over the fence?
Oh,
Far
don't
away
worry.
are they? How far away is the nearest one?
They're about 35 feet away. And Calicat, you're the one over the fence. It's Arya's currently interaction.
I take my brick and I throw it at the nearest red guard, but mid-throw, I'm going to cast Catapult at the first level.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Roll to hit.
Catapult.
It's a dexterity saving throw.
A dexterity saving throw. All right. They rolled a natural 17.
It is a 15.
So half damage, yes?
Yes, I believe
And
it's
that's
half
18 total. Half damage. All right.
Yep.
So how much damage?
18. I don't know why it rolled twice. It rolled 18.
18.
times, so
Is that half?
18 damage. Oh wait, no, right. Half of 18. What's that? 9? 9.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
9. Yep.
9. So with that, you throw the rock and it fucking pew, fires outwards. There's like a beat of wind that kind of explodes offwards. By the way, you're straddling a fence as you do this. You have one leg on one side of the fence, the other leg on the other side of the fence. Arya just noticed them come. The fucking thing, the wind moves out the way as you throw it. It catapults and it pung, hits one of them in the head as their head kind of ricochets backwards. You can see that you knock the helmet upwards and it blinds them for a second. Arya, there's one more crossbow pointing towards you. What are you doing?
Alright, well, it's quite simple. My most powerful spell I will be using, and that's one middle finger up as I simply jump over the fence flat-footed.
Arya does
I mean-
a... Oh.
By that I
Well,
mean
yeah.
I activate Channel Divinity, and now I can my jump is increased by 10, and my strength is increased by 10, or is doubled, and I have advantage on athletics and acrobatics checks.
So you don't even have to climb the fence as you fucking jump. Literally, like, your legs kind of go... How do you describe that as you leap over this bastard?
Well, if any of you've played Okami, there's a little ring of greener grass below me, and then he gives a point to the guard, does a little deep squat, and jumps like a stupid little frog, and maintains eye contact with the guard.
That's really funny.
Stupid little frog.
like a stupid little frog.
Arya, you leap over this with one bounding jump and land on the other side as the guard couldn't even get his crosshairs on you as you're moving too fast.
I'd like to roll intimidation as well.
I'm afraid you wouldn't have. I can give you you wouldn't have a roll invitation here as you jump over. That was your action. However, the cross guard turns his body over to Astrid, which Astrid doesn't have the time to react because this guy was not dealt with. So tell me, ooh, Jesus Christ. 8, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, 21. Does that hit, Astrid?
Astrid would like to deflect the missile, please.
Ooh, all right. He rolled a 4 on damage.
Okay, well, it's quite simple. I'm going to use some physical dice because I don't have access to Astrid's thing. That is okay. And that wasn't great. The damage gets reduced by 9.
9? Yeah,
yes.
that gets rid of all the damage.
And he will use 1 key point to throw it back to the fella. Hate to see it.
Ooh. How does that get flavored?
Well, he does a little parkour Assassin's Creed leap over with his 2 hands on the fence, just swings both legs on one side, and the arrow shoots. He grabs it, does a little spin, and lets it go. Aim towards the guy. And I rolled a 10 plus... what is his advantage? 10 plus 5, I guess 15.
15 damage?
No, 15 to hit.
Oh my god, yeah, that hits. Wait, yeah, that does hit. Jesus Christ, you scared me!
Uh-huh. And I think this counts as a monk weapon, so I'm...
Is it his damage back, or is it a monk weapon? Okay.
I guess. He has darts, so I think I might use the dart.
Yeah, just use
damage.
that for now. Use that for now. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. 4 damage.
4 damage. I'm gonna reflavor this slightly because you just said he grabbed it. You didn't say how. So left hand on the top of the fence as he leaps himself over. His right hand grabs the fence. His palm facing the other direction. His 2 legs currently completely vertical in the air as there's a clap of thunder as his thighs grip onto the arrow, and he begins to do a spin in the air as he releases it, and his thunder thighs his way as the arrow goes finding its way stuck into that guy's eyes as he grabs onto it with both hands, screaming, "Ah!" and starts falling to the floor. And Astrid flips over the edge. Arya, you're in the lead. Kalikath, you're the last one. You're like the middle to last one. You and Astrid get over the same time because Arya leaped it. Arya, where are you leading to?
All right, I look to Cal and say, well, it seems like you don't have a better plan, so I'm going to take the lead, and I start running in 3 different directions at once, get a little confused, and then get behind Gallicat.
You go north, stop, south, stop, try to leap through the window, but it's not broken, stop. Gallicat, what are you doing?
What is in front of me right now?
All right.
Give me another check.
It's another building, like a subdivision. There's another building, and you just jumped over the fence. You got to the left, that's to the main road. To the right, that goes to a building you can see beyond there, but a fence. That's all you got. And then the way you came.
Where are we going?
As I'm moving forward,
where should we go?
I skid along the ground into a stop, turn around, and now I guess would be a good moment. Kalikath takes a massive breath of air, and it's notable that his bandages are not on. He is half transformed, multiple eyes along his face, more so than normal.
Ooh.
His jaw looks like it's ready to sling open, but it's still barely being held up by what's left of his bandages. And he shouts, "Leave us alone!" And I roll an intimidation check.
Ooh, go for it. They don't see you as they're currently across the thing, the ones that are following you.
Natural 20 for a 27.
Let's go.
Holy shit. It echoes outwards and you scream, and because of your vocalness, and the way that your magic works and stuff, it it's so loud that the window that was to your right shatters inwards. That's how loud you echo outwards. Even Arya has to close his ears a little bit. Asher just stands there, but a little bit of blood trickles from one of his ears. And you don't really know the impact on the guards because you can't see them right now. But it becomes, well, your turn again. What are you doing?
I take off through that newly shattered window.
Why are we doing it? Who are we running from?
You leap into the building where you see a family, a dad currently holding his 2 children, like currently one holding at the waist, the other one holding over the head, trying to grab the waist but failing, and it's just kind of like pressed up against the wall as you leap in.
Fully ignoring them, I begin. Do I have a general sense of where the front door is?
Have I memorized the layout of these houses?
Roll a wisdom check. Wisdom, because like nature is how you find out. Survival's how you find places. So wisdom check, yeah, for sure.
A 14.
14? Yeah, you got a general idea where the front is, because it's gonna be where the main road is.
I start booking it towards the front door.
You throw open one room, it's a kitchen. You throw open another room, it's a living room. You throw open one more room, and it's the hallway that leads to the stairs and then leads to the front door. There, you see the front door.
I book it towards the front door.
You grab onto the door handle, twist it, pull the door, and swing it open. And there you find no guard, except you can hear more whistles going down the road. And you currently see what's above you is a road, lots of horses kind of scattered. People are running around. They don't really know exactly what's going on. The explosion really caused a hassle. There's a bit of a human stampede as well as horses. Besides that, it's just the main road for the front place.
Do I see anything that could look like a back road, or what would be like a notable escape route, I suppose?
Roll
Somewhere
a
that isn't just a
perception
wide
check.
open area.
Like a
Roll a
sewer
perception
pot.
check.
Like a sewer or something? No.
Yeah.
A 16.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So you, as far as escape, you can see that you can run further down the road, or a little bit to the right, a little bit straight, is a manhole. Which the manholes lead to the sewers, if you don't know that.
Oh yes, thank you.
I was thinking it was never mind. I can't say that.
I look back to Arya and is Arya within sight?
Arya's trying to catch up, but you're moving fast as fuck, but he's catching up. You can talk to him.
I point to Arya and I cast message. I just yell out as loud as possible in his mind, the sewers.
Arya thinks about the last time he told me something ladder and then ignored it. And so he looks towards, I think, the direction of the manhole if he sees it. If he doesn't, that's fine.
I mean, as you guys lead up, I imagine Calicath might point at the sewers because you meet up with Calicath, who gave you the message and is currently standing with you. Calicath, are you at least pointing at the sewers?
Oh, I am now. If he caught up to me, I'll point in the direction.
Yeah, he catches up to you while you stop to send this message out, which does take a second.
Sewers.
I take off running towards the manhole.
Hey, Sylv, does heaven have sewers? First serious question.
No,
I doubt they would.
not that you would have known of. Arya wouldn't give a shit about if they did or did not. He'd be like, the poop goes away. GG.
That's,
Easy.
you're right. So he's
Literally
like,
would not give a shit, 'cause
He would
the
have no
sewers-
clue.
hey. Yeah. So this will be a fun new experience for Arya. Let's go. For him.
Alright, you go sprinting forward, Asher as well. Calicath, as you run to the street, there's a neigh as a wagon's starting to swivel and start to lose its control. It's about to hit you. I want you to roll a dexterity saving throw as the wagon almost completely takes you out as you jump into the road.
Oh, a 5.
5. Arya, you see Calicath running towards the manhole, and then you see Calicath gone. As just a wagon replaces where his body was. As he gets hit by the side spin of this. Horses kind of go flipping into the air. They're screaming. Calicath, you were just about there, and your body goes boom, like a fucking hockey puck. You hit the asphalt, bang, bang, rolling over twice. Let me roll your damage. That's 6 plus 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 damage as you go rolling on the floor. Arya, you can't quite see him as there's too much chaos, and there's people stampeding over you, Kalagath.
I
So
see it.
laying on the ground now, Kalakath slams his fist into the dirt with anger and tries to stand back up and continue moving towards the manhole.
You slam your fist into the ground, you start to lean upwards, but here's the problem. That spinning carriage is now ting, 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 ting. You can see it on its side. You're like leaning upwards in a sitting position, and it's coming to crash down onto you. I want you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Damn.
Come on, dice.
I hate to see it. All of this because
7.
we exploded a public infrastructure
7.
system.
You turn your
Save.
body around, you start to roll with one arm, left arm, and you start to get up to try to go to run before it crashes down heavy onto your right leg. You can hear bones shatter as you fall into the floor. It's got you pinned, dealing... Ooh, that's not too bad. 8, 9. That's 9 damage as your leg gets pinned, and you do get a status effect as the leg gets shattered underneath this large carriage that lands on top of you. You scream out, and Arya, in the mass amount of people screaming, the horse is running. You can see in the dust, there's Kalakath currently fighting as his leg stuck underneath a carriage.
Kalakath, oh no! I start running towards Kalakath.
Sprinting your way through. Arya.
Kalakath, my best
If you would
friend.
not get hit by another chariot.
Nah, he's not looking both ways. He doesn't understand
You
that.
get hit by a
Ooh,
chariot.
Jesus Christ! Arya does a 18, 19,
No.
21, 22, 23,
It doesn't.
23 hit.
Simply doesn't. No, it does.
No? Okay. With that, as you're running to get to him, you see Kalakath! You're running through, you're not paying any mind to what's going around you. As an arrow falls into your side, it deals 7 damage as it digs into your side as you take your run kind of goes into a limp, and you start to run. You're still running towards Kalakath, but there's still archers down the way firing their way through all the mist. They're rolling at disadvantage, by the way. I rolled an 18 after disadvantage.
Oh, nice. That's just your luck. How far away are they?
How far away from you? You look through there. I want you to roll a perception check. There's dust in the air. It's hard to tell where they're coming from, let alone them trying to figure out where you are.
Yeah. I
And
rolled
by
a
the way,
16.
Astrid can help as well. A 16? 16, you line your eyes. It looks like they were coming, shooting over the fence where they just were. It's the same crowd, except the one that got his helmet pushed back has been put back into place.
Oh, so they're like a house or two behind us.
They're about a house behind you, yeah.
Okay. Well, I think Astrid, seeing that we pointed to the sewers, is going to get that ready. So he's going to deal with the manhole or whatever, and
He's sprinting his way through, yeah.
start making a thing for us. Arya is going to continue to try to help Cal.
All right, I want you to roll an athletics check for Astrid as he's lifting up this heavy grate upwards.
Athletics check for Astrid.
Ooh.
A natural 20 for 24.
Good.
Okay, he's doing real good right now. He was going to get shot at, but he's going so fast. He's doing okay. He actually lifts up the manhole, and 2 arrows
like a table.
hit the manhole from the opposite direction as there were more guards on their way. As it like clinks off the manhole, he lifted up so fast that it blocked the arrows coming in. You, running your way through the busy streets, is screaming. There's pandemonium. Dust has been kicked into the air. It's hard to see anything. You're looking around. You find Kalakath, and he's currently leg underneath a carriage.
All right. Well, I would like to pick up the carriage. I'm still under the effects of my channel divinity, so my push, pull, carry weight is doubled. I have advantage at athletics, and I'm just gonna pick that babe boy up.
Let's get that athletics check.
All right, athletics check, and I have advantage. So the first one was a 27. Can I do better? Nope, 27.
27?
Yeah.
Bro, Kalakath, you see Arya, he like one right leg outwards, leftward outwards, he takes a weightlifting stance, his 2 arms go underneath, he's and right within that you get your leg out from underneath the carriage. It's shambles as you're starting to try to limp your way forwards. You are moving a half movement.
When Arya finally manages to lift the carriage before Kalakath stands up,
Jesus, Arya.
right?
He's still twink shaped. He's not.
Something that
He's not muscular.
something to note is Kalakath, for the first time of the campaign, has tears rolling down his face, and his arms are in a very familiar position of pulling his jaw down much farther than it should be before he stops upon seeing Arya lift the carriage. And he'll get up and start moving towards the manhole as fast as he can limp.
Arya, I'm going to have you roll an athletics check to help him move at the right speed to get into the manhole.
Yes, sir. I still have advantage on that. So the first one was a 19. Can we do better? Yes, a 29.
29. Kalakath, your left arm over Arya's shoulder. Arya holding you at your waist and like trying to lead your way. You guys are limping, but speed limping your way through. Asher's holding the manhole up. The dust kind of kicks up further. It completely obscures you guys as Arya helping Kalakath first, and then Asher through. You guys disappear into the underneath the dark, and you guys travel through the sewers for some ways, getting some distance, until eventually you feel like you've made enough distance that you might be safe.
Like the Ninja Turtles. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes. Thank you, James.
Kalakath, what was that? What? The explosion? Why were we running from those red guys? I don't...
Because, Arya, my dear friend, they wanted to kill us. Wouldn't you run for your life?
Why were they trying to kill us? Did you...
They have been trying to kill us since we first met them. I know that you aren't very familiar with how things work. The whole time, Kalakath is desperately trying to limp without help.
Seeing Kalakath limping, he reaches a hand out and looks at Kalakath for confirmation.
Kalakath slaps his hand away, and as he turns to look at him, he has so many eyes on his face, an unsettling amount of eyes that all blink at different speeds. And he continues trying to limp.
Was that explosion? Is Lady Nadine okay?
No, she is dead.
Well, who caused the explosion? Was it an enemy? Was it some other enemy that you guys have? Because apparently you have so many of those.
No, it was me. I killed her. Probably a few children as well.
What? You killed Lady Nadine?
Of course I did. If I didn't do it, who else was going to do it?
What?
Sawyer? Likely.
What is... Why? What purpose does that have? She let us stay at her house. You got mad at us because I accidentally stabbed Astrid.
Kalakath plops down onto the ground, holding his leg and trying to pull out some bandages, and looks up and says, "Well, she lied to me. Do you have anything to confess? Tell me now before I start trying to take a nap, so you can die too."
Anything for me to confess? I guess the only thing I have to confess is I kind of figured you guys were a little different. It seems like every day that I spend with you guys is just, oh hey, we committed a crime and we're running from these guys. Oh, these guys kidnapped us because of this other thing. There's dragons here? I've killed dragons, but that sucks.
You know, I thought I was a little different too until about 15 minutes ago, maybe. I thought I had a grandmother who loved me. I thought I had a friend that would live past his 30s. I thought I would have a place to stay by now that isn't a broken shack. I thought I would still have a job. I thought I would have friends that didn't die or betray me. I thought I would help 3 idiots out of the kindness of my heart. 4 idiots out of the kindness of my heart. And what did that do for me? Told me my grandmother was a liar. She's dead because of me. And now my best friend is also dead. And I'll never go back to his little tavern again. I didn't even ask to get paid for this.
What happened, Cal? What happened? Something big happened. What happened?
Calicath still has tears rolling down his face from all of the eyes,
Mhm.
although much less than when he got his leg broken.
Yeah.
From the day I made it to Crossroads, Y has been controlling my grandmother to manipulate me into doing whatever he wants.
I see. So, she wasn't really your grandma. She wasn't doing it out of the kindness of her heart.
Nope. There was a reason behind it. There's always a reason behind everything. Life will teach you that if you're not careful. And clearly, I wasn't careful. Some of those kids are likely better off dead. Maybe they were being controlled too. Who knows?
Jesus. Wait. He doesn't exist in this world. Mahogany. That's.
Did you
So-
say that because it was as close to the name of a god that you could think of?
No, we were talking about mahogany in the last episode. We're getting beside the point. Calicat, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you. These past few days have been very stressful for me as well. Weirdly, I can relate to your whole world being pulled out from underneath you. Imagine having everything given to you, anything that you ever wanted, and then waking up one day and ending up here. You call this place a sewer? This place smells like crap.
That's because it's filled with shit.
I was at the top of the world. I was at the best place imaginable. White sand everywhere. As much food as you wanted, drinks. We had to kill a few things, yes.
Calicath looks to Arya. His eyes no longer welled with tears, but now they simply look dead inside. And thinks of how he was born in an orphanage and worked painting people's faces for a majority of his life.
Yeah.
Yes. It must be so terrible for you.
What I'm saying is, some people think that they have something and then they don't the next day. I'm trying to relate on that part.
You won't be able to relate to me because I've made up my mind. No one is going to have anything. Fuck these guards. Fuck these people. Fuck why? And fuck everything about Crossroads. I chose the sewers for a reason rather than just running away. Supposedly why would be down here. So, we have an option. We can try and prepare ourselves, or we can try and kill him as we are now.
Well, we have that silver vine. That can give us an upgrade, right?
Calicath, Calicath visually, shrinks down. And he says, no, we don't have it.
We don't have it. Calicath? And Astrid, watching all this like a disappointed parent, just puts his hands in his face like, this is like the third time in a week. This is...
Somehow,
What
Wyatt
happened?
stole it from us while we were asleep.
Oh yeah, then I agree with everything that you said except for, like, the dead kids part. Screw Y. Y sucks. Let's kill Y. Wait, he has the thing that kills dragons, right?
Yes, he does.
Oh no.
So,
Well,
like I said, I'm giving you an option as well. You were caught up in this in the same way that I was. Now I'm too deep and I can't get out. But you, they don't really know your face yet. Not in detail. You can leave if you want. What we are about to do is we are about to attempt to kill a god with an item that would give him immortality. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds near impossible. But at this point, I will either succeed or I will die. And that's a gamble I'm going to take. Would you like to join me, Arya?
You know, the next inspirational speech has to be done for me, or done by me, because I really didn't feel at all inspired by that speech. But, you know, I think you guys have been really nice to me, giving me food and stuff, so I might as well repay the favor. And besides, killing a god, that sounds pretty cool, you know.
Arya, that speech was not to inspire you. It
Uh-huh.
was not to instill hope in any of us.
Right.
It was to explain how hopeless our situation is.
Well, good, because that's the vibe I got.
Then I'm glad I got my point across.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I mean, you should be a bard. You're a really good storyteller.
Thank you. Once upon a time I was, and then my best friend died.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I joined this party. Stick around, maybe your family will die next.
Oh, don't worry. Oh,
Oh, they're already gone? Good for
well, that's a little complicated. Maybe I'll see him again. Hopefully.
I think we're far enough into the sewers to take a rest. I don't know about you, but I could use it, seeing as this, and Kalakath slaps his leg and curls over in pain.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't
This
slap it.
It's
Ooh.
definitely broken.
Yeah.
His bones protrude from his leg.
Yeah, probably. Do you need help with that? I can.
Don't touch me.
Okay, well, I'll heal Astrid instead. You're not gonna have a deep, dark, depressing backstory, are you, Astrid? And I heal him 3 points.
Oh boy, let's not get started on that. You weren't there for that either. Yeah, you were. Never mind.
With the Can't Print fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
that
was kind of.
depressing.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was a cool fight.
Hey DM, is it possible for us to take a short rest?
You may take a short rest, though the affliction that you have right now with a broken leg will take longer than a short rest to recover.
What if
Now, hear
I
me out.
fill
Hear me
him with HP?
You may
No.
fill him with HP, but that would require a restoration spell to actually fix his broken leg.
What if I... hold on. What if I play Song of Rest?
Ooh.
That's amazing. Leg still brokey.
But what if I simply push the bone back
But
in?
it's a really good song. You should really hear it. It's a really good song.
It's a banger, really. One of his
Animal
best.
by 3 Days Grace.
Calicath,
Listen, it's really good.
you can improv a song, and depending on its quality.
Damn. I'm not a singer, so I would rather have the broken leg.
I'm so sorry, but I'm afraid a short rest will not fix the broken leg ailment. But
That's fair.
nonetheless, you may take a short rest.
Man, don't we have another party member or
I'm
something?
still gonna play Song of Rest so I can get more health back.
Yeah.
You may roll your hit dice now as you guys rest in the sewers that stink and a little bit of light travels its way through. And you guys can hear gently, but presently, the ringing of some kind of bells, large ones on the surface world.
Oh, excellent. More bells, like one didn't already try to decapitate me. I guess that was my fault, actually.
Yeah, since when can you explode things?
Calicat slowly turns towards Arya and stares at him for, I'm gonna say, 4.5 seconds before slowly turning back towards his broken leg. eyes all across his body and face and head still stay staring at Arya for the duration of the head turn.
And at the same time, during this same moment, the bells toll and the surface world seems to be alerted. Zatira, you grabbing your things in your room, having collected a +1 crossbow from Walter, having collected the potion that he gave you with the unique substances and unique abilities, and a sunny day, a beautiful one at that. Thunder. Several rounds of thunder roar through the skies. You peek through your second-story window. You can see the seaside district, but more so you can see the ships. The dozens of ships. A flash of light, another flash of light, followed by thunder. A tower gets smashed in by a screaming cannonball of fire. It seems they didn't take too well to finding out they didn't have the vine. And that's where we'll end our session tonight, everybody.
Yay!
Thank you all for joining us on the reception table. You guys are amazing, and my players are amazing, and this was a great session. I love you guys. I love these guys, and we're going to see you in a week. So, good night, and adieu, and Babu, a monkey within Aladdin. Bye-bye.